Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to a brand new match preview on the channel. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe, and Wolves will be travelling to St James's Park to take on Newcastle United this Friday evening. As always, guys, be sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And as always, big shout out to our partners over at BetMate. Before we kick off, be sure to check them out. This week is a big one because we're taking on fellow YouTube channel, the Magpie channel. They're obviously a Newcastle page. They've just joined up with BetMate, and this is going to be a clash of the fan channels. I'm going to be talking a little bit more with Matty from the Magpie channel later on in the video, but I want a Talking Wolves follower to win this tournament. Matt Cooper won last week's BetMate, so I need to try and get my revenge somehow. This is my team on the screen right now. Going with a little bit of a mix of Newcastle and Wolves in there. Obviously subject to change. You can change it right up until kick off your team. But guys, make sure you join in. £3 to enter. Prize pot of £200. And obviously 18 plus, UK residents only, and gamble aware. Link in the top of the description. But Wolves facing off against Newcastle United, a team that have had a crazy season, really. Finally got rid of Mike Ashley, their owner. And actually the reverse fixture, Wolves versus Newcastle at Molineux, was the final game for Newcastle United under Mike Ashley. We won 2-1 in that game. Hwang Hee-chan scoring both goals. And obviously the Newcastle goal was a little bit of a bizarre incident where Jose Sarr was on the floor and then got up and then went back down again after he conceded. So obviously, VAR didn't intervene and Newcastle got that goal. But in the end, we held on, and it was a really good performance by the likes of Jimenez and by the likes of Hwang Hee-chan. And we could take some real encouragement, I feel, from that win over Aston Villa as well. I thought, for most parts, we looked really, really good. Played some of our better football that we've seen for a number of weeks, and looked a real threat. We've just got to add that little bit more ruthlessness in front of goal. But I'm really encouraged by that front three of Trincao, Fabio Silva, and Daniel Podence. I think Trincao in particular, who I really wasn't happy with after the West Ham game. I thought I would be very surprised to see Wolves continue using him between now and the end of the season. But he's proved me wrong. He had a very good cameo against Leeds United. Had a very decent game, I thought, over Aston Villa. And hopefully now he's starting to settle into the Premier League and knuckle down a little bit more. This could be another big game for him. So I think he's got to start again. Podence looks a live wire. Obviously, you've got Hwang and you've got Pedro Neto on the bench that could come off. And Fabio Silva, had some good numbers against Villa. I think the only thing missing for him, like many people have said, was that decisive goal. But still a very encouraging performance, and he will be available again for Friday with the suspension still, of Raul Jimenez. So, this fixture historically has been goals for both teams. It's been normally a 1-1 draw. But I think Wolves should have that little bit more edge about them. Newcastle United had a bit of a new manager bounce under Eddie Howe. It took him a little while to get his first win, but once he did, Newcastle got a really nice string of victories. However, more recently, their last 3 games, they've lost, and most recently, it was a big loss to Tottenham Hotspur, a 5-1 defeat. So they'll be wanting to bounce back, but at the same time, they could still be a little bit fragile, and it's up to Wolves, really, to continue their good form. And I think a win against Newcastle United is definitely doable. It's achievable, but we can't take it for granted, especially with our form against them in previous seasons. This is my predicted lineup for the game anyway, folks. And I have gone unchanged. I've gone completely unchanged. I think Bruno will probably try and stick with this lineup as much as he can. I thought Marcel had a positive game at left wing back. Thought the back three was good. Thought Johnny was great. Then Donker impressed me alongside Matinho, who I thought was man of the match against Villa. And the front three, like I've mentioned, I've already sort of sang their praises. So I think Bruno's got to go unchanged in this game. With options on the bench to bring on like Neto, like Chiquinho, like Hwang Hee-chan. I think that is the team I would go with. It will be interesting to see what you guys think. Do let me know in the comment section down below. But we'll go on to the opposition preview now. I spoke to Matty from the Magpie channel to get his thoughts on Newcastle United season so far and what we can expect from them on Friday evening. So, Matty from the Magpie channel, mate, how you keeping?
Yeah, good man, good. Not so much after Sunday, but hopefully the season's, we're getting there, aren't we? We should be safe, but not counting those chickens just yet, mate. I mean, I'm still a bit nervous. This has been recorded before Burnley Everton on Wednesday, which is a huge game. So we should be all right, though. Should be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at the table, and you're closer to the top 10 than the bottom 3 now, I think, aren't you? So you've got yourself in a pretty. If I'm looking at the right. Oh no, not quite, but you're sort of in between. But yeah, you're still in an all right position, aren't you? But
we had been 14th for a couple of weeks, but then we've lost 3 games in a row now. 2 of them against Chelsea and Spurs, and then that one against Everton last minute was unlucky. But and then obviously Brentford's win pushed them above us. The unexpected win at Chelsea, so 15th now. But considering we're on 19th just a couple months ago before that 9-game unbeaten run, we'll take it all day long, mate. Look forward to next season.
Yeah, it's been a mental season for you lot. Obviously, the takeover, which I know your fans have been waiting absolutely ages for, and obviously got sort of hit the jackpot now. It looks like maybe with the owners that you've got. But Eddie Howe, if I'm completely honest, mate, I was never a big fan of him in terms of his management style or him as a manager. What do you think for him long term? I mean, he's done a job. He's sort of steadied the ship slightly at Newcastle. Is he there for the long term, do you think? Or would you not be surprised to see a new man in a couple of seasons' time?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I think if the owners are right in what they're saying, that they want to be the next Man City, that in 5 years' time they want to be challenging for the league, then it's hard to probably see Eddie Howe in charge of a Premier League chasing side. No disrespect to him. We love him at the minute. He's done an amazing job since he came in. That 9-game unbeaten run, we hadn't won a Premier League game when he came in, and we won our first game in December. We're on course to be the first team to ever stay up after not winning in the opening 14 matches. It's just outrageous, really, that run he went on. So he's done a brilliant job. He was shrewd in the transfer market because he was in charge of transfers in January. We're still yet to get a director of football in, so he did well there. The football is decent. It's not amazing or anything, but it's good, and the best thing for us is results. So you'll obviously stay in the summer. You'll get players again, but in 2-3 years' time, if you do want to be chasing top 4, then you probably do need a manager to match that. I mean, you look at Conte at Spurs. You need that type of manager to probably bring in those type of players as well if you want those elite players. So we'll wait and see. But let's hope he carries on. British manager. I hope he does well.
Yeah. I mean, you say improving in football. I think Steve Bruce's football wasn't anything to. I mean, he got last year. I think he did an okay job in terms of some of the results he grinded out. But from day one, he didn't get on with the Newcastle fans. I don't think obviously the fans wanted him there, did they? So, but you say the City, if they want to be like Manchester City, they did have the similar sort of thing where they had the likes of Mark Hughes just sort of getting where they wanted to be short term. And then you saw the likes of Mancini and Pellegrini and all that come in. So I think that probably is like a roadmap for Newcastle. He's fair enough. And from your point of view, and maybe yourself or Newcastle fans, are there some fans that are thinking from next season you should be challenging for the title? I think every fan base has got them, but what's the story for next season for you? Where should Newcastle be heading towards?
I'd be happy with a season where we're not shitting ourselves throughout it.
Yeah.
Where we're not worried about relegation the entire time. I'll be happy with that. Give me a comfortable. Do you know what Palace are doing at the minute? That would be a dream. Do you know what I mean? 9th, 10th, cup run. Football, that's the ideal one, because for me, we can look to be the next Man City, but for the meantime, I think we should be looking to be, I don't know, the next Leicester City. Do you know what I mean? Like a team who's top 6. Obviously, they've been close to Champions League a couple of times. Bring in some good players, have the fans on the side, get a good vibe around the place. Won the FA Cup. Try and become the next Leicester City before we become the next Manchester City. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen overnight, especially with how the powerhouses in Premier League football is now. I mean, look at Man United and Arsenal, and they've been struggling for years, and one of them is not going to finish in the top 4 this year.
And I think I think you're right there, because I think the top 6 and below, or the top 7, I think it's so hard to consistently break into the top 6. We've seen Leicester; they've done it last couple of years, but really struggled this year with it. West Ham United, but I think the the step from becoming a team that is in and around that to definitely becoming a top 6 club is difficult. So I think that's what Newcastle have to do, like step by step. And you've said Eddie Howe's come in, he's done a good job. Last 3 games haven't quite gone to plan, but I'd say 2 of the 3 are against tough teams. But the Spurs game, I haven't caught it, to be fair. I've not seen the highlights back, but 5-1 on paper seems a heavy defeat. Did that tell the story, do you think?
Yeah, it did, mate. Really bad. We were down there. I was down there. To go 1-0 up as well, man. 1-0 up with like 3 minutes to go until half time. And then we conceded right before half time, right after half time. And that just killed off. And the defence just fell to pieces. We've been a really solid unit under Eddie Howe. One of the best defensive records in the league the last couple of months. And then God knows what happened in that game, because the Chelsea game 2 weeks before that, it was 0-0 until the 91st minute, and it took a bit of magic from Havertz and Jorginho to break the deadlock. But we've just had that international break there where the players went off to Dubai. It's probably not looking like that was a good idea by that performance, because I think maybe that's lulled them into a sense of the season's over when it's not. It might be 9 points clear, but I wouldn't take it for granted just yet.
Yeah, that happens quite often. Wolves used to do that quite a lot, where they'd do a sort of mid-season break, and either right before it or right after it, they would just have an absolute stinker. It's almost as if the players know they're on a holiday, aren't they? They're like, yeah, a break will be sound. But in terms of obviously that, defensively, you guys have sort of tried to invest. Dan Burn was one player again that I thought, what are Newcastle doing? But he started off all right, hasn't he, for you guys? Is he doing all right?
He's been unreal. He's been an absolute rock at the back. Surprised me how well he's done. He's kind of fallen off the last game or two, to be honest. But him and that centre back partnership with Fabian Shaw was working wonders. He's obviously an absolute unit. He's hard to get past, but he's been pretty comfortable on the ball as well. And he's been incredible for us. I think maybe he finds that extra edge because he's a Newcastle boy, he's a Newcastle fan.
Yeah.
So that may be the kick that he needs. But he's been brilliant. Him and Matty Target, very good signings. And obviously you won't like Matty Target, but he's been really good for us as well on loan from Villa. But the defence has been decent. I mean, the defence has been that good that Captain Lascelles hasn't been playing. Although I think he may come back in this weekend, because Burn and Shaw, I think maybe the one that maybe have knocks, little injuries, because they haven't looked themselves.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, Dan Burn, we always used to have decent games against him when he played for Brighton, but they always shifted him out to like left wing back, which I always found really strange, really, for a bloke of that size to be playing out wide. And Target as well.
To play there, because they put him in centre back this season. He was having his best season, wasn't he? And that's why we got him. He came in for Webster or Dunk when one of them were injured, and he was classed at centre back.
Yeah, and Matty Target as well. Although it was normally when we had Adama playing, he would always end up coming off injured for Villa. I'm sure it happened 2 or 3 times, first half. And it happened again with Digne actually at the weekend. But do you think defence, is that the area that Newcastle are going to be improving in the summer, or was it just an all-round improvement? Do they need players in all departments?
Absolutely everywhere, I hope, mate. I hope we're saying everyone. New starting 11, please. Yeah. No, I think it's with left back, if Target signs permanently, not sure. They're probably still keeping an eye on elsewhere. We're battling AC Milan for Sven Botman, who was so close to joining in January.
We almost signed him last summer as well. Yeah.
Linked with Calvin Phillips today. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
Take them, won't you?
Take them all day. I'm not sure I would get Phillips but the main thing for me, the one position we need to strengthen in the summer is striker, because Callum Wilson is brilliant, but he's always injured. His record for us is class. It's 28 goals and assists in like 51 games, but he's been out for months, and he looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the season now. Every year he misses 2, 3, 4 months. Every season he's missing 50% of the games. You can't rely on that. And then we all know Chris Wood isn't a goal scorer, so that's the main thing. The main thing is a striker for me this summer.
And I mean, it's not really come from what I would call a reliable source, but Alan St-Maximin today has been linked with a move away from Newcastle in the summer. What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't know if it may just be a bit of a match of the day player where I'm only watching 5-minute cameos and he looks pretty good. But from a Newcastle United fan point of view, what's your thoughts on St-Maximin and his future?
It's a tricky one with St-Maximin, because he's so loved here until the last couple of months, where he's been starting to get a few doubters, a few haters, because of his, I don't know, his attitude. He's a off the ball antics more than anything. Yes, we'll love him because he's fancy, tricks, dribbling, takes people on, he's entertaining, gets you off your seat. His end product is still questionable. He doesn't quite know when to release the ball, whether to pass, whether to shoot, and then before you know it, he's tackled. He's a bit like Adama Traore, when he was just quick, exciting to watch. St. Maximin on his day is unstoppable. He's unplayable. He's literally a top class player. I nearly said world class there. I wouldn't go that far yet. But this bloke has got aspirations to win the Ballon d'Or. He said it himself. He wants to win the Ballon d'Or. He's a mile off getting anywhere near that. He needs to become more of a team player, and that's why there's doubts over him, because Eddie Howe, Ryan Fraser's played a lot better lately under Eddie Howe because he's grafting, he's tracking back. Even John Joe Shelby gets back now and gets stuck in, whereas he used to be so lazy. St. Maximin still doesn't track back, still doesn't offer enough for a team, gives the ball away on his own box. He's trying to do step overs and that, man. It's like, we're in a relegation battle, yeah. He's trying to take on 3 players and he's fucking in the 18-yard box. What are you doing, mate? Do you know what I mean? If you look at the Everton goal, he gives it away in his own half, and then they're 2-on-1 and they score last minute, 99th minute. So it's a tricky one with St. Maximin. I would definitely keep him because I think he's an absolute baller, but he needs to work on his team ethics. He needs to work on getting involved more with what they want and the style of play and the tactics. But on his day, he's an outstanding player.
Yeah, it sounds very, very similar to Adama Traore and us, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the summer if Newcastle United are going to grow with him, or if he decides to drift elsewhere. But as well as it being the Castor derby, Matty, it is the BetMate derby as well. So Matty's channel, the Magpie channel, have also teamed up with BetMate. I would have spoke about them a little bit earlier on in the video as well. Matty, I've got your team up here. I believe is there a forfeit? So is it whoever finishes lowest out of me, you, and Matt? Is it? We'll have to wear the opposition shirt. Is that the rule? Is that what we're going with?
We'll chuck Keg in there as well, who does the challenge with us, because
whoever finishes lowest has got to wear the opposition shirt.
2v2. We'll do a tag team. So whoever finishes lower. Yeah, look, I'm reading black and white, mate. Don't worry about
that. Well, your team I've got on the screen is Jose Sarr, Bolly, Lascelles, Bruno, Gamares, then Donkus, Maximin, and Wood. Obviously, we can change the lineup right until kickoff as well. So if any of those players don't start or whatever, you can change. I'll give you mine, Matty. Let me know what you think. I've gone with a bit of a mix. I've gone with Sarr, Johnny, and Kilman for Wolves. I've gone with Bruno as well in the middle, and I've stuck Chris Wood up top there.
Yeah,
I don't know what to expect. I've gone with a bit of I've got Fabio Silva and Pedent, so mine's pretty Wolves heavy at the moment, but I've finished pretty low, so you're probably best to avoid all my choices, to be honest. So, but
to be honest with you, I put Wood in, and no doubt I would have put Jimenez in if he was playing, but he's not, is he? Is he suspended?
No, I think he's still suspended. Yeah.
So, thankfully that's the case for us. But I think, if he was there, I would have put him up top instead of Wood. Trust us. But Wood yet has scored St. James's Park. He's only scored 1 goal for Newcastle since joining in January, away to Southampton. So he's due one, well overdue one. Let's hope.
He always scores against us. He always scores against us as well.
Oh, tremendous! I didn't even know that.
There you go. Matty, I'll make sure I put a link to the Magpie channel and your socials in the description, and obviously the BetMate. May the best channel win. Finish off, score prediction.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to go for a 1-1. This game has been, I think this will be the third 1-1 in a row, actually.
It's a 1-1 derby as well. I forgot about that.
It's the draw derby on a Friday night. After that Spurs performance, I don't know what to expect, mate. I really don't.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I'll make sure I leave a link to Matty and his channel in the description, guys. And cheers, Matty. I'll speak to you soon.
No worries. Pleasure, mate. See you later.
So big thanks to Matty once again. I'll make sure I leave a link to the Magpie channel in the description down below. Both teams to score. Probably going with a 2-1 win for Wolves. That's my heart saying it. My head, you'd probably go with a 1-1, wouldn't you? Guys, let me know your lineup and score predictions in the comment section down below. Fingers crossed Wolves can get the win. We'll be back on Friday evening with my match reaction and obviously the fans react as well. And be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until next time, guys, I'll see you all very, very soon.